It was my decision. It goes without saying that I and the whole team here are totally devastated and a little bit shell-shocked by what's happened today. Our thoughts are obviously with those that were injured and their families. As a company, we exist to give people safe, fun, memorable days out, and today something clearly went terribly wrong.
We know four aged between 17 and 27 seriously injured, but have you any further indication of how badly they've been hurt? I mean, are these life-changing injuries?
All I know is what the emergency services have told us, which is that there are 4 severe injuries and then 12 minor injuries, some of whom have been discharged from hospital already.
Clearly there are questions now for you and the Health and Safety Executive in that we assume that there are fail-safe mechanisms on these rides that should prevent this occurrence.
No, that's absolutely right. Tens of millions of people ride roller coasters around the world every day. In Alton Towers, over decades, we've never had an accident like this, and technically it should be impossible for 2 cars to be on the same section of track at the same time. So, that is why I'm here and with the team and the Health and Safety Executive. We need to really look into how that could have occurred.
And what are the carriages, the cars themselves? Are they crash tested as such? Are they strong and resilient enough, bearing in mind these appear to be leg injuries that these people have suffered?
They're strong and resilient, and there's a lot of stuff going around. I mean, actually, when somebody is sitting on a roller coaster, on a roller coaster car, the car can't come off the track. They're in seat and shoulder restraints. They're actually very safe. So even when the car stops, not a lot can happen to you. But as I already said, what all roller coasters are designed as is that there are fail-safe systems and brake locks around tracks to make sure that only one car can be on a section of track at a time. And clearly today that didn't happen, and that is what we need to understand.
Is there also a bigger question now about the scale and design of these rides, bearing in mind this was 25 feet high that the rescue took place, and yet, as we can see from the pictures we're showing while we interview you, it took 4 hours to get these people out, and clearly that could have had an impact on their well-being.
Look, honestly, I guess the emergency services took the decisions, around the injured people, and the nature of the industry, the injuries meant that they wanted to have a stable platform. Certainly the ride was off the ground, but it wasn't excessively high. I think it was more to do with the fact that they wanted to make absolutely certain that we got the injured people off in the most safe and effective way.
What about public confidence now, however? Clearly your company took a hit on the stock exchange, shares down 3%. Could this get many people to question whether these really are safe?
Well, look, you'll forgive me if I'm not really that focused on the share price at the moment. Myself and all of my team, we do this because we're passionate about it. People love the business. And as I've just said, I mean, Alton Towers has got a fantastic record for safety. Tens of millions of people have visited and ridden the rides, as they do not only around the Merlin Group but around many theme park groups. This is a very rare but tragic accident, and I am determined to try and find out what made it happen. But at the moment, again, you'll forgive me, we're totally focused on our thoughts of the people that were injured and trying to find out what happened.
And yet there are reports that there were indications there was a problem with the ride this morning. 2013, the ride was closed twice after a bolt was seen to fall off when plastic guard wheels came loose and hit front row riders. I mean, it's not been without its problems.
Look, all rides, particularly when they're new, have technical glitches, but I go back to what I said before. Actually, sitting on a roller coaster car that is attached to a track from which it cannot come off, and where you have shoulder restraints that cannot come unlocked, is a very safe place, and that is why, there haven't been records of injuries like that. All rides have technical glitches. Reports that there were technical glitches on the ride this morning are ones that we have to look into, and at this moment in time I have no idea whether they were related to the final accident or not.